On Saturday, March 1st, at 2 in the afternoon, in a large number of centers of population throughout the country, the Declaration of Korean Independence was solemnly read, usually to large assemblies by representative citizens. In some places, the leaders of the Christians and the leaders of the non-Christian bodies acted in common. In other places, by mutual agreement, two gatherings were held at the same time, the one for Christians and the other for non-Christians. Then the two met in the streets, and sometimes, headed by a band, they marched down the street shouting "Manse" until they were dispersed. Every detail had been thought out. Large numbers of copies of declarations of independence were ready. These were circulated, usually by boys and schoolgirls, sometimes by women, each city being mapped out in districts. It was soon seen that every class of the community was united. Men who had been ennobled by the Japanese stood with the coolies. Shopkeepers closed their stores. Policemen who had worked under the Japanese took off their uniforms and joined the crowds. Porters and laborers, scholars and preachers, men and women all came together. In every other Korean demonstration, for untold centuries, only part of the nation had been included. When the Yangban started a political revolt, in the old days, they did not recognize that such a thing as popular opinion existed and did not trouble to consult it. Korea had long known demonstrations of great family against great family, of Yis against Mins, of section against section, as when the conservatives fought the progressives, and of independence against the old court gang. But now all were one, and with the men were the women, and even the children. Boys of 6 told their fathers to be firm and never to yield, as they were carried off to prison. Girls of 10 and 12 prepared themselves to go to jail. The movement was a demonstration, not a riot. On the opening day and afterwards, until the Japanese drove some of the people to fury, there was no violence. The Japanese, scattered all over the country, were uninjured. The Japanese shops were left alone. When the police attacked, elders ordered the people to submit and to offer no resistance. The weak things had set themselves up to confound the strong. At first, the Japanese authorities were so completely taken by surprise that they did not know what to do. Then, the word was passed round that the movement was to be suppressed by relentless severity. And so Japan lost her last chance of winning the people of Korea and of wiping out the accentuated ill will of centuries. The first plan of the Japanese was to attack every gathering of people and disperse it, and to arrest every person who took part in the demonstrations or was supposed to have a hand in them. Japanese civilians were armed with clubs and swords and given carte blanche to attack any Korean they suspected of being a demonstrator. They interpreted these instructions freely. Firemen were sent out with poles with the big fireman's hooks at the end. A single pull with one of these hooks meant death or horrible mutilation for any person they struck.